Epic is finalizing. This is starting to scare people even more now.
Okay.
People coming out the woodwork now. We're getting the "I told you so" starting to pop up now. So Epic, making their first, I guess, since they started doing this game store stuff, this first major acquisition. They're acquiring Psyonix, which is the company who makes Rocket League.
Interesting. That's an interesting buy.
So they're. I think it's a fucking amazing buy. But so they're picking up Psyonix, and they're in the finalization stage. So Psyonix had their little announcement on their website or whatever, and they said in the bottom that the finalization is probably going to be end of May, early June. It will be handled. But they were excited because. So I'll get this before I get to the part where everyone's freaking
Losing
out.
their mind.
So Psyonix is pretty much only Rocket League right now. They're not. It's kind of like Riot. They have one game.
It's Rocket League.
They do it very well.
Yep.
And they're running the show. running the show. There is no other game like Rocket League. It's in its own little fucking pocket. It's fire if you watch their pro league. It's crazy some of the shit that people do. It's quite hype, and they're just in their own little pocket having a good time.
Great.
The thing is, that game, even though it continues to sell relatively well, the vast majority of those sales have pretty much happened, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get some steady sales, but the vast majority have already been sold.
Going free to play?
I don't know about that, but the thing is, for them, Epic acquiring them in this nature is going to inject them with a huge amount of capital up front.
Yeah.
Which is going to allow them to expand upon the game, obviously, with content more easily. And then more importantly, and I think the thing that's probably going to get the most benefit out of this is their esports scene is going to get a lot more attention now, and to be able to try to expand that and maybe get it a little bit more to the forefront, because right now it's been existing and it does quite well. They get 20, 30,000 people watching the RLCS.
It's not bad.
Which is pretty good, especially for a game like Rocket
They're
League.
kind of
right?
in a weird. Rocket League is basically the NFL type of game. Like the
Rocket League.
It's kind of in that realm because you look at sports, esports for sports related games.
Yeah.
They aren't a Twitch thing for the most part.
No,
they're on there. But you see it more celebrated on the big screen. Like you'll go to the movie theater and there'll be big land events.
Yeah.
There'll be just weird shit. It's a weird.
Well, at the end of the day, it's soccer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it even though it's with rocket cars, right? It's still ultimately soccer, so it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
And it gels more with just
a good television. It'd be like a good TV esport.
When people were talking about or what would make for the first really good test run for ESPN or some shit like that, I was always advocating Rocket League because it's not a shooter.
Yep.
So you're not going to get everyone losing their minds about a shooter. It's simple in that it is basically soccer. There's crazy shit that happens that anyone who looks at it can appreciate the difficulty of it. Just by watching it. And it's an easy game for them to spectate. So it's not like a confusing thing to watch. And I always thought it would be a good idea. So I thought. So my take on this so far is that that's probably going to be what ends up getting the most attention, outside of course, creating more content. Maybe, who knows what they'll do with it within the game.
It'll be on the launcher now.
Exactly, but that's the next part. So after the first 6 months, it will be moved to the Epic Game Store from Steam. There hasn't been, and they've come out. See, here was the problem. When Psyonix put out their announcement, it was word, and this is happened on their announcement, but also there was Twitter messages and stuff involved, and there were some mixed signals. You were getting Epic almost saying one thing and Psyonix saying another, where it either read after the 6 months it was going to be pulled from Steam's store for purchase and only on Epic, and then the other side, Epic was saying there has been no decisions made at this point as to how we're going to tackle that. All we know right now is that it will be in 6 months' time on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
And that regardless of whether or not it continues to be sold on Steam, it will still be supported on Steam. And so if you own it on Steam,
you can still
launch it, play it, the whole 9 yards. You can get patches.
I think probably what it is,
like that.
There is mixed signals, but I think maybe from what I'm hearing, and I haven't looked into this, but it sounds like the Rocket League guys They jumped the gun in making an announcement that they probably shouldn't have made. Not the fact that they weren't being acquired, but on what was going to take place after the acquisition. And I think Epic with Borderlands 3 and everything else and all this bullshit that's going on, even though it's likely that the purchase will leave Steam. I mean, Epic's now going to own Rocket League. It's going to be their property.
Yes.
So for them to sell it on their competitor just doesn't make any sense. But they probably didn't want what would perceive to be a good thing for Rocket League fans, to then be tarnished in a bad light. Downvoting on the reviews, people getting upset and angry that, oh, you're taking it away from Steam, you're putting it on Epic. This is the, here we go. Here comes the takeover. Their dicks are starting to be swung around. Which favorite game is going to be next? They're going to take it and blah. You know how people get,
and
right?
You know what's fucking stupid? Dude, nobody talking about Rocket League.
Zero people talk. Now they are.
But now they are.
Now they are. This is good for Rocket League. This is great for Rocket League.
If you can somehow look at this and hate Rocket League, go fuck yourself, buddy.
Dude, this is nothing. And I know I'm not on Epic's dick. I don't play Fortnite. I don't give a fuck about Epic.
No.
If you truly think that this is a bad thing for Rocket League, you're higher than a fucking kite.
Yeah,
this
bad.
is going to put Rocket League even more on the map, not only in terms of what we're sitting here talking about it and everybody else talking about it, but also going to be bringing it onto the Epic launcher, which is massive. You can make the same argument that Steam is bigger, but we're putting it in we're putting Rocket League in a limelight now, in a new place that people necessarily wouldn't have done
Which, again, the vast majority of sales on Steam have already happened.
Done. It's done.
So if you move it to Epic's launcher and all the people playing Fortnite that are using the Epic launcher and not necessarily always Steam.
Yep.
And I think for younger people, I think Rocket League is probably got a decent crossover, right?
I think so.
So, you're opening yourself to a new market to get sales that you wouldn't get if you stayed on Steam, while also injecting yourself with income to continue to develop the game in the short term and expand your esports scene. That's a fucking thumbs up in every way, shape, and form.
And last point on this, it would be amazing if what Epic would do here to just win over people, shut the motherfuckers up. You buy out Rocket League, you put it on the Epic launcher, free to play. Boom. Then what do they say? Then what does anybody say?
It's still the launcher. Nobody cares about the game.
Yes,
it's the fact that it's an exclusive on that launcher.
But you go from, how much is Rocket League? $20?
$20.
You go from paying $20 potentially,
but they already own it.
To now it's free to play.
These people already own it, or they don't care about Rocket League.
Yeah.
They care about the narrative.
They just want to
and they want to complain about the fact that there's an exclusive going to EGS that was originally on Steam.
They want to just complain.
It's not like it's an exclusive period. It will be an exclusive on the PC platform. Rocket League is available on every fucking console.
Yeah.
It's available everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just that now Epic is buying up Psyonix, which is, in my opinion, this is a great little small.
It's a good buy.
They have done really well. Rocket League. Rocket League.
People who made Rocket League are loving it right now. They just got bought out. They fucking made a game. It has had great success. It's one of a kind, and now you're getting bought out by Epic. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure that they worked with Epic in the past on something else. I want to say that's the case.
Okay.
Chat may be able to back me up on that or inform me otherwise, but I want to. So there might have already been
a link.
That made it even more of an easy move, where they already knew each other internally and said, "Hey, this makes great sense. Let's have some talks."
Yep, that's a nice buy. That's a good buy. I like it.
Yeah.
What's next?
So we'll obviously let you guys know when we find out in terms of whether it will stay on Steam or whatever the hell is going to happen. We'll let you guys know when more of that info comes out. There was another thing here with the Epic Game Store. Okay, so in line with that, so the Epic Game Store is actually doing extraordinarily well, despite what everybody is, been saying would happen, like nobody would ever use it and it would never sell any games. So, in particular, there were a couple that stood out. There was a report that they were putting out, or a discussion they were putting out about some of the games that were doing particularly well on the platform. Anno 1800, which you've probably seen a number of streamers playing, is doing very well. Metro Exodus has sold boatloads of copies on the platform. And there were a couple others. There were a handful that were doing north of 200,000. Some of them did, I can't remember which one it was. I have it written here, with some of them selling over $250,000 in the first week.
Damn.
which is pretty good.
That's pretty good, especially on a launcher that isn't established yet.
Exactly.
Like,
so
that's huge.
So that's fantastic. So despite that, though, so the launcher's doing very well. What Epic did was, you can actually see Epic's. They have it made available. I don't know if they've made their Trello public or how they did it, but you can kind of see the roadmap for the features that they're building into the game store.
Okay.
They have delayed some of the features that were going to be coming up here to shift focus to support and further develop the online functionality of some of the more popular games that are on the platform right now. And they're putting so they're focusing on that and putting I think they delayed it, a couple of these features, by 1 month or 2 at most in this current delay to focus on that. So there was a big thing about when I was reading the article, the tone of the article was for better or worse, despite the fact that they're doing really well, they've delayed some of the features that people are hoping that Epic Store gets to try and get their parity up with Steam. And then Epic was just saying, yes, we've pushed this back 1 or 2 months, and we're doing it because this. And this is they are working on supporting the online functionality of some of the more popular games that are currently on the store.
Yeah.
And then
get it done right.
1 or 2 months.
Don't do what other companies are doing. Don't do what, like, say, Twitch has done in the past, where you don't work on the issues that you currently have, or you don't make the good things that you have great before you start moving on and adding 3, 4, 5 new things that just kind of fuck everything up.
Yes, exactly. It was Unreal Tournament.
Damn.
So there is a history there.
Damn.
With Psyonix.
It's not a small history either.
No. So that might explain also a bit why this was the first move. And I think that makes it an even more obvious good choice for both parties, is that there's already a history there, and a positive history. So that's a big thumbs up there, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I'm sad to see some of these features get delayed. I am personally accepting the reasoning. If they delay this another 2 or 3 months on the other side of this delay, then I'm going to start to get a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But if you're going to tell me right now, in the early throes of the Epic Game Store, where some of these games are starting to do really well, you want to focus on making sure that shit doesn't fall apart before you put these out.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. Just don't.
That's what you want.
Just don't delay it by like a year.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Then you're going to get less sympathy from me.
Yeah.
For sure.